I'm getting feedback, Roger. Are you getting it on your side?
Yeah, we've got two Derek's on here. Are you joined on just one device or?
I was trying to do double speak today.
Showing the feedback coming back on one of the Derek logins. Okay, can you try speaking to us again, Derek, and see if that cleared it up? Oh, now they're both muted.
That's that I muted.
Yeah, we're sorry, we're not trying to mute you. We're trying to figure out which one's causing feedback.
We should be good now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the UIA board meeting today for June the 8th, 2026. First thing on the agenda is approval of the 18th or April 13th minutes. If anybody's had a chance to review those, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Brandt.
Thanks, Brand. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Zach. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Getting enough votes there, Krista? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. Third thing is the public hearing for our tentative budget for 2027, or I guess final budget. Go ahead, Jason.
This is definitely for the final budget, so yes, if it's a tentative, that's what it's final. Let me just share my screen here. Looks like I need to be allowed to share.
Oh, thank you. Just a moment, sorry. All right, Blaine, you might need to squeeze in here. Apologies for that. Go ahead.
Okay. Now I can share. Thank you. I'm excited to share the fiscal year 2027 executive budget with you. There we go. First thing I want to bring up is any changes we've had between the tentative budget, the executive budget that was shared to the board budget. The biggest change you're going to see here is we talked about payments going up from UIA to Utopia in our previous budget discussion. I'm reducing the amount going from UIA to Utopia. This is primarily because Utopia is going to have some additional revenue coming in for a California project. When we prepared the tentative budget for California, there were it was kind of up in the air that we needed to get some bid numbers to come in and make sure they came in at the right amount before we were sure that that money would come in. Since that time, those bid numbers come in, and it looks like this project will be moving forward. So we have budgeted for an additional 600,000 of revenue in Utopia. And because of that, there will not be a need of that revenue to come from UIA. So that's the difference you see right here from executive to board. Hold on. Okay, let me make sure am I in UIA? I'm in Utopia. Sorry. Let me get out of here real quick.
While he's changing some stuff there, I just want to make a clarification. When we're talking about California projects, none of these are with the state of California. These are projects that take place inside of California, but the partnership and work is in partnership with the rural county group. They're known as I guess it's the RCRC, which is Rural County Representatives of California. which has created a consortium of counties to do broadband projects, which is the same membership known as the Golden State Connect Authority. So we're working, like there's some other similar examples of like UAMPS having partners and members in California and other states for municipal power projects. Our projects that we do out of the state are in some ways similar to that, in that there are projects in these other states that we do, but we're not staffing people there. But we've talked a little bit about that structure in the past. We're now budgeting some of the revenue from those partnerships in California, and that's what's affecting these budgets, which is a good thing. We don't have any obligation to do those partnerships, but as we find some opportunity to work with partners like that and bring revenues to improve economy of scale, and it's beneficial to the organization, we're excited to be able to help out in those projects. So, go ahead, Jason. You got the right
Thank
one
you,
up now.
Roger. Yeah, now I have the right one up. I'm sorry. I had Utopia. This is UIA. So we're decreasing the amount of fees going to be paid to Utopia from UIA by 500,000. Because of that, we're decreasing the amount of bonds that we budgeted to issue for next year. In the budget, we've decreased that amount by 500,000. That's the only change from what was previously presented in our previous tentative budget meeting in our last board meeting. Just a show here of our revenues, you can see residential, commercial, transport revenues are continuing to increase. We project that fiber lease revenue will continue to increase, and overall revenue, we still show a pretty good increase for next year. Operating expenses, we have seen an increase, especially in the marketing line over the last few years. This is primarily, and that's the lower blue line you see down there. A lot of this is due to us doing door-to-door sales. There is an increased cost to these door-to-door sales, as we'll see in other things we're going to be talking about in this meeting. But we projected that into next year's budget.
Can I ask a quick question? Sorry.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Statistically, how effective is door to door versus I personally am a customer of Utopia, but I see it more on social media. I don't allow door to door, and I feel like a lot of people are becoming that way. So I guess my thing is that's a huge increase. So when I saw that, I was just curious, statistically, is that really the best money, where the money's spent, or is it other ways?
Yeah, I would basically say that it's additive, right? We still do the other marketing methods. We prefer if people sign up as a result of seeing an ad or a neighborhood recommendation. We love all the communication that goes on Facebook. Somebody moves into the neighborhood, hey, I'm trying to get internet, and people get recommendations. All of those things are amazing. And we've done really well historically with the flyers and the ads and the recommendations and all other programs. We did in the last couple of years start seeing what the impact of a door-to-door campaign would be. And we kind of trialed it up in Bozeman to see if it could be managed in a way to not create too many complaints and what the cost benefit would be. And it went very well. And so then looking back at our other cities, we said, here's cities that have had all of those other marketing methods available to them and have been used for years and years and years. Can a door-to-door campaign come in and just add to that versus replace it? If we're replacing it, we're just paying more for the same thing. What we found is that we were able to dramatically increase the number of customers with door-to-door campaigns in cities that had all of those other methods there for many years. And so then we look at it and say, yeah, it costs a little more to do this, but then what is the ROI? And where we have an existing network and we're adding customers to that, the ROI is actually excellent. So financially, it's good for us. It works for demographics that the others don't work for. It's frustrating because we do all of these other marketing methods, and then we still hear from people what is this? Utopia, I've never heard of this. And we're how is this possible? You have to have heard about it on YouTube ads or Facebook or whatever. But That door-to-door campaign is so targeted to the actual addresses that don't have services. And then when they go talk to these people, they're able to answer the questions, that you can't answer in an ad. Like, well, how do I cancel my cable service, or what are the, how do I get rid of this cable TV service and have something streaming, or like, there's so much more that a door-to-door person can do education wise to help someone, that it works really well. At the same time, we're very sensitive to the negative that is often associated with door-to-door, of high pressure, annoying people bothering you in your home. So we work really closely with those teams to make sure, any complaint that we get is addressed. We try to do what we call kind of a light touch with that. I mean, they're obviously still knocking doors at the end of the day, but we don't want it to become across as a high pressure situation. It's more of like an outreach and education, trying to, awareness of what's available and the city's role with that. And I think we've struck a really good balance with it. And it definitely has helped us from a revenue and subscriber base perspective. So
I was
that's kind
just
of where we're at.
just making sure statistically that like it's proven, because it's like that's a huge increase. So, and where he had, said that a lot of it was the door to door. I was just curious, making sure that statistically it really works.
Yeah, and Jason's going to be the first person to push back if we're spending money on something that doesn't create revenues, and he can provide data, and maybe we could follow up with you with some more detail about how that funnels in, as far as the spend here on a door-to-door results in a customer, and the retention of that customer results in this much revenue over time. But the economics of it work very well, and we could get you some more detail on that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah, and when I look at a new customer coming on, we shoot for a 5-year payback of our cost to put it in there. That's good for our bonding. If you look at what we do, and this is a lot better than 5 years payback on revenue. So
I mean, at least you're targeting people that don't have the service. Cause like I said, like I see the ads nonstop on social media, and I wish there was a way that like you don't hit people that already have it, cause you're wasting money there. Cause I'm like, well, I already have the service. And so I was just curious. That's all.
yeah,
we use a system and software that tracks every single address. So that if you have the service, you shouldn't get somebody knocking your door. If you do, then it's a mistake on the system. But for the most part, that should never happen.
No, you're good. Thank you.
and Roger, if you wanted to, when you go through your report today, your subscriber report, it might be good to point out some areas of the report where we started door-to-door sales and how it shows up on your subscriber report.
One other quick question, the door-to-door folks, they only get paid on commission. It's not, interestingly, like the mass mailers, those, I still get, the mailers that go out, or like she was saying, the ads can't really target the non-customers as well, but probably you said they only knock doors that aren't a customer, and then they only get paid if they close a sale, correct?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they only if they close the sale, and only if they stay on the network for a certain amount of time. So yeah. Thank you. Here's our network expansion. This is the money we use to build out in Greenfield whenever you have growth in your cities, to build to a new area. What we use for the connections, the majority of this money we use is for connections. If you look down here, we have about 20 million budgeted for capital projects. I send out a capital project list so you can look exactly, but the majority of that is for Greenfield and new connections. So that's mostly what we're spending our money on, and that's very good return money. And so that's a very good thing to see. One thing that we're talking about is we are talking about an increased fee from Utopia to UIA for operations. This is Utopia numbers you're looking at here. But especially you look at this chart over here on the right, relocate and cut maintenance cost history. Right here, that shows a big dip in 2026 from what's budgeted. We're actually seeing, if you look over here on the left, you see that we're actually projected to be much higher than even the prior year. Those relocate and maintenance costs in your cities are going up very quickly, especially relocates. And a lot of that has to do with projects that you guys have going on in your cities, and we end up having to pay for those. So because of that, that's the primary driver to a fee increase from Utopia to UIA. So that will be cash paid from UIA that goes to Utopia. And you'll see there's another amendment that we need to approve later. This is kind of the detail of what we're proposing here. About a $2 million change in fees for the year. About 700,000 of that is due just to growth. It's not due to increased costs. So you're looking at about 1.3, 1.4, somewhere in that range. That would be the increased cost because of what we're seeing, increased maintenance cost and relocate costs going forward. And the amounts for each fee, there's these 4 types of fees that are charged from Utopia to UIA. We do an amount for each active connection, the one-time amount for each new connection, a monthly amount for each address passed, and then a certain amount per month for each HUD or cabinet. Most of the increase you're looking at here, dollar-wise, is from the field maintenance for each address passed and the network operations for each active connection. That's where most of the increase has been put for this.
And just a quick clarification, we talk about raising fees. This is not raising fees to any end users on the system, right? This is simply between Utopia and UIA. It's almost just how we allocate revenues and costs. And we look at that every year to like, are we charging the right amount of money in order to we have staffing at Utopia, we have revenues at UIA, do we have the right balance of how the organizations, charge and provide services between each other. And this is adjusting those rates, but this is not, hey, businesses are going to pay more money, residents are going to pay more money. There's no end user or service fee adjustment as a result of these.
True. Last thing on here is the distribution to the cities. And one of the things we heard from the Utopia board was to see if we could go back and increase the amount. If you'll look, the increase going to each of the cities is in the far column. In the previous budget, the total at the bottom here it shows 427,000. This number is $100,000 higher than was shown in the previous budget. So with the reworking of the budget and primarily some of the revenues coming in from consulting for the California project, we now have increased the dividend the repayment of the loans that will be going out to the cities.
And the effect of that is we had the normal increase was just keeping up with the bond payment increase, so that the cities were seeing a flat payment to the Utopia bonds every year. And with this, it's not by a lot, but it's some in the direction of decreasing the total amount that the cities will be paying towards the original Utopia bonds. And the hope is that we can continue to do that year after year, and maybe even accelerate that. We'll look at it every year to see what's available and how our trends are and all of that. We don't want to get too deep into that and then have to back away from it, but we are pretty excited to be able to move in that direction of decreasing the amounts the cities are paying year over year and into the future.
Yeah, and we are excited. We're definitely going to try to push that. Of course, this is a deviation from the more conservative plan we were using before. And I would say the biggest risk for the future with this would be changes in the competitive environment that you may see out there. As long as customers stay on the network and we keep growing to a certain degree, we should be in good shape to continue increasing these.
Jason and Roger, this is Bren Bybee. I'll just add my voice to the desire to accelerate these payments back to city. The risk from competition always exists. And, frankly, the real impact of that risk is the ongoing payments from cities on the original debt. And the reason why we try to go after aggressively other additional forms of revenue outside of the state, outside of the membership, is in fact to get accelerating payments back to member cities. So I super appreciate the work and effort to bump these up, and again, just adding my voice to the desire to get payments back, because that really is a conservative way of budgeting. Because we're the original members, our money's already out and we need that money back. All of us cities are increasing our property taxes. Well, I would say more than ever, at least, if not all of us. So anyway, just adding my voice that we need these funds, and it helps us conservatively budget our tax dollars when you do this. So thank you.
Yeah, you may want to tell some of your finance directors that I've done this. I've sent them other numbers and I haven't sent out updates yet, so they don't know about the increase.
Yeah, this is Zach. I'd like to just echo what Brent said. This is such an important thing when as we share kind of the financial security of UIA and Utopia now to other members of the council or mayors or staff, to show them that at one point we were really happy to show that we were sending these payments back and keeping the cities, even now if we can increase that, it shows the direction of travel, and it helps just be able to share the good news that UIA and Utopia are experiencing now. So thank you. Appreciate that.
That's all I had for the budget presentation. Are there any additional questions or comments?
Okay, hearing no additional comments, we need to do a public hearing, so I'd entertain a motion to open a public hearing for the fiscal year 2027 budget for UIA.
This is Bren, so moved.
Thanks, Bryn.
Second, Brent.
Thanks, Brent. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open for our budget.
No comments on YouTube.
And everyone in the room is or is staff here, so, and no public here. Doors open though.
Okay. Excuse me. I think we've had enough time there. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. This is Brent.
Second,
Brant.
Carolyn.
Thanks, Mayor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Our next item on the agenda is consideration of the resolution approving the budget. And I'd entertain a motion on that.
I recommend we approve Resolution 25-01, adoption of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026 for the Utah Infrastructure Agency. Do you want the time and place right now, Jason?
I'm not really sure. I don't think we need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the resolution at this time.
And this would be not for the tentative budget, but for the final budget.
What did I say? Oh, adoption of the tentative budget. Okay, adoption of the final budget. Sorry, in our agenda it says tentative.
I think it's 2602.
Yes.
Am I right, Chris, on that?
And it should be for the fiscal year 27 budget,
Thanks.
not fiscal year
Thanks,
26.
Bren. I am looking at the agenda, and this is the April 14th agenda. Disregard everything I just said.
Okay.
I
Start over,
withdraw my
Brent.
motion. Brent, have at it.
Did I send the wrong agenda, or is?
I think that's what I think that's from your link. I just opened it before the meeting, so.
Okay, let me make sure.
I'm looking in the packet.
Correct.
Is where I found what I'm looking at.
Let me move down.
Yeah, I likewise have the packet, Kristen. It's the correct agenda. We could resend it quickly if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can make the motion up pretty quick here. Okay, and it's 26-02?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's try this again. I recommend we approve Resolution 26-02, adoption of the final budget for fiscal year 2027 for the Utah Infrastructure Agency.
Okay, thank you, Brand. Is there a second?
This is Zach. I'll second.
Thank you, Zach. This will be a roll call vote, and I'll have Krista handle that for us.
Okay, Zach Blockson,
Yes.
Nate Rockwood,
Yes.
Kim Sorensen,
Yes.
John Flores,
Yes.
Bren Bybee,
Yes.
Brent Hansen,
Yes.
Mayor Lundberg,
Yes.
Lacey Smith,
Yes.
and Derek Euler.
Yes. Thank you, Krista, and thank you, everybody, and thanks, Jason and Roger, your team, for your work on next year's budget. Okay, moving on, our next item is Resolution 2603, the interlocal cooperative agreement. Jason, I'll let you introduce that.
Thanks, Derek. This is what we were talking about, the fees from Utopia to UIA. The next item actually has to do with this also. We're recommending that this fee increase be active as of January 1st, 2026. And we do have our revenues in the budget for fiscal year 26 are a lot higher than what we have budgeted. Our actual revenues are projected to be much higher. So the next item you're going to see is a budget amendment, amending our budget to show higher revenues. And this is one of the expenses that those revenues could cover, is dating this change in fees back to January of 2026. And this is mainly to help Utopia's budget out where they had all the overages. That's really the timing issue for this year. Any questions?
If there's no additional questions for Jason, we do need a motion on that resolution. (26-03), if it helps anybody.
I do have the new agenda up. I apologize. Apparently my email didn't index properly. So I will recommend we approve Resolution 26-03, a resolution approving a Sixth Amendment and interlocal cooperative agreement for services between UIA and Utopia.
Thanks, Brand. Is there a second?
I'll second Kim Sorensen.
Thank you, Kim. I should introduce you, Kim, but let's see, this will be a roll call too. Krista, if you want to do that for me, please.
Zach Blockson,
Yes.
Nate Rockwood,
Yes.
Kim Sorensen,
Yes.
John Flores,
Yes.
Bren Bybee,
Yes.
Brent Hansen,
Yes.
Mayor Lundberg, Mayor Lundberg. Oh, I don't see her anymore. Lacey Smith
Yes.
and Derek Euler.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Jason, for that. Our next agenda item is amendments to the 2026 budget, and you can introduce those, Jason. We'll do a public hearing.
I thought I just called it up. Hold on, I did call it up. I just didn't get it. There it is. Okay, as I mentioned before, our revenues are projected to be much higher for fiscal year 2026 than what's in the budgeted. The first three lines you look at there, totaling about $1.5 million. That's our revenues being above budget. The two items that we're wanting to cover there are, first, marketing expense. This is primarily the door-to-door that wasn't included in the original budget, which has also helped drive the revenues increasing more quickly than we thought it would. So that's $760,000. And also network operations expense, that 750 is the amount that I'm projecting from January through June for the fee increase that was just approved. So any questions on this?
No, that's good news, exciting. If there's no other questions for Jason on that, I'd entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the budget amendment.
This is Bren, so moved.
I'll second. This is Lacey.
Thanks, Bren and Lacey. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, the public hearing is now open for the amendments to the 2026 budget.
Again, I didn't receive any public comment.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll motion to
Yep.
close the public hearing. This is
I'll second Lacey.
Okay, we got a motion by Lacey and a second by Brant. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Our next item is a resolution approving the budget amendment 26-04. We entertain a motion on that.
This is Bren, so moved.
Thank you, Brent. Is there a second?
I'll second it. It's Lacey.
Thanks, Lacey. This will be a roll call vote. And Krista, if you'll do that again for me, please.
Zach Foxon,
Yes.
Nate Rockwood,
Yes.
Kim Sorensen,
Yes.
John Flores,
Yes.
Bren Bybee,
Yes.
Brent Hansen,
Yes.
Mayor Lundberg did not come back on, did she? Lacey Smith
Yes.
and Derek Weiler.
Yes. Thank you, Krista. Our next item is a fiscal update for the current year. I hope all of our budget meetings go as fast as this one did this next few weeks, but I don't think they're going to, Roger, in our cities.
Well, good luck. Well, it's a tough time for cities.
Okay, Jason, go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, this is our budget update through, this shows results, actual results through April 30th. So we still have 2 more months to go in the year. Very consistent with budget update we just did. We're projecting revenues to be much higher. If you show here for under operating revenue for residential transport, business transport, and fiber lease. Miscellaneous revenue is lower, but that's kind of artificial because it shows up in a fund balance number in the budget that really most of that 700,000+ of that amount is due to us having to budget for our fund balance to increase because we had a negative fund balance in UIA. Luckily for fiscal year 2027, I didn't have to do that in the budget because we now have a positive fund balance in UIA. I'm very happy to report. So that number won't look weird anymore in the future because it always messes people up. Marketing expense is projected to be higher than budget. We discussed that already in there too. So, and if you look at our total capital projects expense, we're pretty much going along at a pace of about what's budgeted overall. So we're about right in line with where we expected to be. Any questions on April financial result on the projected 26 financial results? If not, I'll show overall revenue. The bottom line's Utopia, the red line's UIA, the green line's combined. If you'll notice, the green line's still climbing very, very quickly, and we're seeing good revenue growth across UIA and Utopia. Here's the UIA numbers, and you're seeing this is the bond payments, total bond payments we have versus total revenue that's monthly recurring revenue that's coming in, and we're continuing to see that gap widen. Any questions on the financial update?
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you, Jay.
Let me just make a quick comment on it. If you're looking at the trend line on there, things get a little flat in the winter months, and then we do better in the winter or in the summer months, just because that's when people sign up. and then you'll see that. So if there's any concerns about things flattening out a little bit, we've already this last month seen a little uptick in our subscribers, and that'll show up later in the financials. But we expect to have a good summer.
Okay.
$5 gas is really helping right now too, Roger.
Yeah, work from home more and use more broadband. Get everybody on the subscription.
I think, Roger, I'll turn the time over to you for our network update for our last agenda item.
Yeah, we'll keep it quick. Let me share here. So we send this out every month or have it in our board packets, depending on whether we have a meeting or not. But the main thing is that we continue to trend. I kind of green light or highlight things in green that are new. We did break ground on a partner project in California in Glenn County. There's 6 different county projects that'll be kicking off over there. There's actually 7 projects, but one of them is the town of Mammoth Lakes. But that is underway. So we're kind of excited to see those projects kicking off. But it'll be probably about a year before there's actually customers coming on to that system. The trends are good. We've occasionally seen a city lose some subscribers on a net basis, but in very small numbers. That usually is a result of some campaign from the competition, the door-to-door type of thing. But statistically, we're still doing very well across the board. We're still netting a lot of customers across our member cities. You see that generally in these take rates. If you're kind of looking at it month to month, you may see some of those dip a little bit, but they usually are coming back. Overall, they're all going up though. So we continue to be very competitive generally in our cities, getting more take rate compared to any other providers. So our trends are good. You've got your city specific. Jason mentioned how you can kind of see the door-to-door campaigns, and that's true. I think my mouse pointer comes through on these shares, but like this purple line right here in Murray. Murray was one of our original cities. So nothing really changed there other than that the door-to-door campaign came in, and you can see the bump showing up there. You'll see that in a lot of these others. Orem's door-to-door campaign was right here. It kind of gets hidden by the Idaho Falls line. But it was a pretty big jump in Orem. But you'll see those jumps, and those, are the result of these door-to-door campaigns. So it may not seem like a big deal, but when you add those together, it's a big part of our revenue growth collectively. And we want to continue doing that. And this is the season where those reps become available, because a lot of them are college students that take the summer off to go do sales. And so we take advantage of that and can do more during the summer months. And then you've got your same reports. There's a couple times when we've got errors in these reports. We fixed a whole bunch of them. And then as I'm looking through this morning, some of them had some scaling issues where the range or whatever for the numbers was off, but the data is good. So anyways, feel free to browse your own city specific charts. If you have any questions of why things are the way they are, please reach out and let us know, and feel free to share those with your city councils or others that are looking at your projects. But we're generally very excited. Again, we remain very competitive in the space, adding customers across the board. We had kind of a milestone of adding a new or turning up a new 400 gigabit customer this week. For context, when Utopia's first started, in the first, I would say even for the first 10 years or so, that was probably more than the entire capacity of the entire network. And to have one customer have a 400 gig connection from us is a pretty big deal. And that's the second one that we have on the network. Most people still sign up for gig and 2.5 gig. Those are the most popular. But when we connect universities, that's when the 400 gig connections come in. And so we're excited to have customers, and that's with the University of Utah and their various universities and data centers out there. where we get those really big connections. But we announced, I think, in a previous meeting that we had gotten the biggest award ever from the Utah Education and Telehealth Network. Those contracts begin in July, so we should have a great July month when those all those additional connections come on. So that'll be a nice boost to our revenues. But we also are excited that we're saving our school system a lot of money by being the most competitive option. They don't pick us because they like us. We wish they would, but we have to be competitive and offer the best price. And when we win, that effectively means that the result of Utopia and the city's investment in the system is providing a better service and at a lower cost for cities. So while we manage our own finances, it is, it's always nice to know that there's those extra economic benefits that are helping our households, helping our business, helping our schools, all to both have a better service than they would otherwise, and also to save money. And we see that every day. So anyways, that's my network update. If you have any, more involved questions or follow-ups or whatever, please reach out for your city-specific information. Thank you.
Thank you, Rogers. Any other questions for Roger or anybody else before we adjourn today? Okay, I just want to take a real quick minute and thank Roger and his staff for everything they do. And yeah, Bryn, Zach, your comments and making sure our councils understand that how well Utopia is doing financially, and that increased amount is a big deal. And I hope everybody takes an opportunity to let their city councils and mayors know that over the next few weeks as we try to finish our budgets in our own cities. That's exciting news. So if there are no other comments, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Brandon. Brant, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.